Future Flares here. How much Saya testing did I do for this review? This much. Every single of these videos is an A5 run. I did 20 plus A5 runs. Now, I'll go into why I did this many A5 runs. So, how many hours did I put into this review video? Around 10 hours. So you're going to see like depressed flares, past flares. This is future flares right now. So why was this video a bit slow? My uncle died. You guys know about it, so I'm not going to go into it. I'll probably, when the funeral happens, have some footage and stuff to share with you his story. I think it's a good story for any Vietnamese immigrant. But without the review, ignore all that. The Saya review. Where do I rate her? I rate her B/C tier. I'm going to put up a poll, but fake S tier. She's a fake A to S tier unit that is one of the stronger supports, but as past players will tell you, and while I was doing more testing, she is the weakest Annie unit ever released. She's one of the weakest units Annie unit ever released because it's Twill, Caster, Dies, and G Murphy. That's without question based on her kit and everything. So let me go into why she's the weakest and why she's also strong. So this is past flares. I'm just going over Saya's kit. You're not going to see like that version of flares that much today. I'll try. Again, I'm prepping funerals. I'm only doing this video. I tested Saya throughout. So this is past flares. Hold on, I need to re-record. Sorry, I need to catch my breath there. So, Saya, if you talk to future flares, which is probably more upbeat, is the weakest Annie unit. She is the weakest Annie unit ever released. She's good. So, why is she the weakest Annie unit? She has to compete with Dies, Twill, Caster, G Murphy. Unless you're a fucking retard, you cannot deny that every one of those units, especially if you played Saya recently or just watch other people play him, aren't better than her in some way that makes them S tier. She is not S tier on a support. She is not S tier. We are going to decide whether she's going to be B or C tier, because A tier is also pretty high bar. So let's go on the flaws in her kit right off the bat. So everything about this is good. However, remember, she has double the alien miss amount. What does that mean? It takes her 200 base alien miss to exalt. You're only going to exalt once or twice, and her kit does not accommodate this 100%, just like Vortex's issue. Now, the whole, increased alien miss. So let me go you for the first example of what I mean. This Madness Omen is not scaled to the 200 base elements. It's just 5 is the same thing. So if you put stuff in this, it's a big scam for her. Same as with Vortex, same as with Arachne. I don't know why they overlooked this part. So let me go on the rest of her kit and her performance. So I'm going to show you the good things about Saya here. We're going to compare the corrosion application of my whale caster versus a level 60 Saya. Level 60 Saya with 10 Soul Forge, 30,000 corrosion. This is insane. That makes her extremely good, one of the better supports. Again, this is caster. Caster whaled out, rouse. 25,000 corrosion for the first plume, and every subsequent plume is only 3,000. So this is better. Level 60 Saya already inflicts more corrosion than a one-turn caster. However, let me show you something else. What happened, Flares? What happened? What happened to off Saya? It's still level 60 Saya, right? It is. Let me show you something interesting. I roused caster. So all I did was I yoinked Saya's wheel and plopped it on the caster. Yeah, turns out if you rob Saya blind, It makes any team better. So, if you rob her blind, like all of you guys are going to do, this does no corrosion. That's all I did. I just yoinked her wheel and plopped it on the caster. I did nothing else. And if I had his wheel plus 12, it will even do even more corrosion. Look. Now he's doing 4,000 corrosion a turn. I did testing. Saya's wheel is the best in slot wheel for caster and every team comp in the game. That is right. I cleared several alert 5s. It is better for every fucking team comp in the game because the wheel is actually where 90% of her strength is from. Look at the values. Let me go back. So this is going to be play out of order. This is Future Flares audio over past Flares' gameplay. So the reason why I did this is because I was down. I was handling funeral arrangements. Now I'm kind of perky again, so I can adopt the persona. So what's your fucking dog shit? You put Saya's wheel on caster, and I did 5 to 6 alert 5 runs with caster, and I found out that Saya's wheel on caster is caster's best in slot for corrosion. It actually does something insanely weird when you get damage amp or base damage relics with caster. So by the end of it, the first caster plume I played inflict almost 100,000 corrosion. I'm not even making this up. Just look at the clips. This is Miai volume over the clips. So it's 100,000 corrosion if you get to the shop. Without the shop, it's so much fucking corrosion on a caster. It is literally caster's best in slot wheel. I was like, oh, it buffs it. No. If you get relics, if you get min-max your caster, it's literally his best wheel. It inflicts so much corrosion that it's almost impossible to proc all of the corrosion every turn. It's almost impossible to proc every single ounce of corrosion. No matter what comp you use. If you use Jenkins, if you use Pollux, he generates so much corrosion that it's a fight against the clock to generate it. So after this, you're going to see past flares talk about Saya, using Saya because I was testing it with Saya. Future flares is like, fuck Saya. I use just caster. Caster's better than Saya in every fucking way with his Onyx plumes. Again, we're going to go back to past flares. But these are all the future flares footages. So when I was playing Saya, even with a whaled out Saya, like a Giga Whale Saya, level 90 Saya, min-max, you're going to see, I'm going to glaze Saya's 50,000 corrosion, 30,000 corrosion. Yeah, I'm going to glaze the fuck out of that, because that was past flares. Future flares has seen the light. This is future flares. Future flares, you're seeing this shit in the clips. They're like literally one Onyx plume, 90,000 corrosion, 30,000 corrosion against everyone else. AoE. No discarding your fucking hand. Nothing. So all those Saya comps I showcase after this segment, with Doricine, with fucking Vortex, with Arita, with Corpo, they work with Saya. But literally caster is just better Saya. It's like how Jenkins is better than Pollux. Caster is literally better Saya with her wheel. Just fucking bash her face in. Just bash that fucking 10-year-old's face in. However old Saya is. She has to be a 10-year-old, dude. I don't watch the lore. Just bash her head in. Yoink the wheel from her. Yoink the wheel from her. Rob her blind. Kick her to the shredder. Put her in the face. I don't care what you have to do it. I'm scheduling a funeral next week for my uncle. You can throw her decrepit corpse in with my uncle. My uncle's corpse is quite nice. And just use caster with Saya's wheel. He's literally better than her in every fucking way. Every way. There's nothing. There's literally nothing. There's no reason. You're watching this footage right now of me just styling. Just look at how much corrosion my caster's doing. You watch all the past clips of me playing caster. You know all the past clips, all the caster guys of me only doing like 20,000, 23,000 corrosion on caster. Well, on caster. Now you see it with like 90,000 corrosion with relics, like with just one plume. With just one plume, 74,000? Whatever the clips I'm showing you, dude. And you're like, what the fuck is this shit? Just yoink her wheel from her, motherfucker. The reason why it's the case is because every 10 alias the wielder has, this buffs corrosion by 5%. In addition to 1 plus a riff. I'm not gonna tell anyone to pull for Saya. You know why? She is a great unit. She's a great unit with her wheel. She's a great unit, but without her wheel, she's a fucking cripple. She's a cripple in regards to corrosion. That means you have to use her for her kit alone. And you're like, flares. No one's gonna mug Saya for her wheel. We're not monsters. I'm gonna let this wheel hover in the middle of the screen while I explain this process. The moment any non-retard reads the first line of text, Saya's going straight into the black pool. Everyone right now, just by reading the first line of text, just like when her kit was revealed, are already slobbering at the mouth. You don't care about Saya if you're playing card games. You don't care about what the wheel does. It's plus 1 mana. It's plus 1 mana. This is best in slot on a calf team. Why? You want the 6 mana to shuffle around Fiamma more. You know what else is best in slot in? Best in slot on a G Murphy team. You want 6 mana to play more waltzes on the burst turn. You know what else is best in slot in? It's best in slot on a Blue Wheel team. That 1 mana. That 1 mana every turn, play more cards. There is only one comp which doesn't need it. Caster. And guess what? Caster teams salivate at the mouth for this option. More corrosion. Because it's the best in slot wheel for caster if whale out. As I've just shown. What else is it best in slot for? The discard team. Why? The 1 mana. Lightning retributions are expensive if you want it immediately. Every team in the game wants this plus a riff. And the fact of the matter is that every one of you heartless fucks are just yanking this wheel out of Saya's cold dead hands and plopping it on your other teams. Now, how would I rate Saya if she had her wheel? A tier. If you're putting her wheel on Saya, she's an A tier unit without question. If you're yoinking the wheel from her, making her homeless, playing her without her fucking wheel, where would I place her on my tier list? Low B to C tier. I'm going to decide by a poll what she should be in as I show clips. Because I can't decide whether she's in C or B tier without her wheel. Because this wheel fixes a lot of her issues. Which I will complain about. Her cards being expensive. Her drawbacks. Her insane embryo fusion costs. Remember, this buffs her embryo fusion generation. Which negates the drawback of, you guessed it, Divine Carol Realm. If you're yoinking this wheel away to make one of your other teams better, easier to play, it makes Divine Carol miserable. Miserable to play. One of the worst dog shit Divine Realms in the game. If you try to play Saya without this wheel. Because you don't get that nice embryo fusion buff, that nice corrosion buff. You're just playing Saya just for her buff to exalts. And it's a pain a pain to generate babies. A fucking dog shit pain in the ass. But I know that 90% of the player base from watching this video is just pulling on the wheel and not her. Because you would rather put this wheel on whatever fucking team you like rather than make a new team for Saya. Because the fact of the matter is, she does not buff every team in the game. She mainly buffs Exalt or Manchette teams. And plays it better. So, let's see here. This is Visceral Blossom. This is her discard card. And I don't have Saya's wheel on her. I have these wheels to get Alien Miss. And this is my Tawil. Remember, Tawil has better base stats. And since units with terrible dog shit base stats like Saya, that means it's a Tawil buff. Anytime a unit with very low stats come out that's lower than Tawil, it's a Tawil buff. Because that means Tawil can use their cards better than they can. And this is an example of what I mean. This is 28,000 and it has the E3 effect. Remember, if you level Tawil's Omni card, it lets it copy the Enlightened level higher than this. So this is an E0 Saya. And this card effect is different from this. You see this? Look at this. 1400. You do not see the 0.5% of target's max HP. Why? Because Tawil copies it. How much you level her card. It makes it even better. So you don't need dupes on Saya. Just run a Tawil. And you don't even need Saya at all on a Tawil if you want Visceral Blossom. And here's a trick you can use with Tawil many retards don't know about. If you have Lone Seed, even though I don't recommend it. Lone Seed. Boom. Way future flares here. This is how much Corrosion Tawil does if you yoink Saya's wheel from her and not even run Saya on the comp at all. So, I unfortunately did a Tawil Saya comp without the wheel. So we're going to see what it buffs Caro Tawil. What a Caro Tawil burst looks like. Now, why would you want to run it without Saya? To not get all the Divine Caro negative effects. That means you can get regular Dies babies with a crit rate without, or just regular Caro babies without the Saya babies. Because the Saya babies do not buff Tawil at all. So if you're going to play Caro, which I won't recommend, this is what the burst turn would look like with Saya's propagation. So it basically, you have like self-inflicted corrosion until it can burst it down. As seen here, again, this is without the Saya wheel on Tawil. Now first, I'm going to demonstrate her downsides. Her big cons, which is Divine Caro. Divine Caro is one of the new Divine Realms from JP, just like Blue, just like Divine Blue, just like Divine Ultra. And like Divine Blue, Divine Ultra, they make the realm worse. So let me cover the first aspect of it. So she has very, very, very poor stats. And that does not make up for the 10% max HP bonus she gives. So I'm going to do one with Zoo as an example. Like I mentioned in my pre-release. So this is with a Whale Salvador. So 3452. And it's less HP. So the 10% buff she gives does not accommodate for her max HP for my account. Why is that the case? Well, the reason why is because of this. Forbidden Lore. Every 100 points of con stat total, I get 290 HP. In case you were curious, Dies on Saya's team gives Super Saya babies. And if you do Posse, it generates Super Saya babies. Normally, I would come up with a name for this, but again, I'm too tired right now to come up with a name for this. So, Super Saya babies, fucking, what else? What do I call it? Whatever. So, these babies are just improved Saya babies if you have dyes on your team. Again, if you put dyes and Saya together on a team, what the fuck are you doing? The whole reason why you would pull for Saya is to not use dyes on that team. So it is a little bit worse in some regards. It does give the 45 stacks of Propagation Fiesta, which buffs the Exalt. Which means that on Exalt Awakeners, Saya is going to be great. Saya is going to be great on Exalt Awakeners such as Doricine, etc. However, dyes is still going to be better because cards are still more important than that. And again, this, while it buffs that, you still want the dyes normal Caro babies. These babies, despite the Propagation Fiesta, is still inferior to dyes super babies. Why? It does not give crit rate or crit damage. It gives everything else but that. And the main reason you use super babies to feed and regular babies, the crit rate, crit damage is very, 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 very important. Okay, remember, Divine Caro. You need to generate 200% embryo fusion in order to generate one baby. Saya's embryo fusion is good. She has all these nice embryo fusion cards that scale up to double. So this is like 80% embryo fusion, as you saw in the thing, plus her wheel, plus all that. She has very, very good embryo fusion. However, no other unit, if you're using them with Saya, has that increased embryo fusion. That's the problem with Vortex and Arachne. They're releasing these new units that has higher base damage, higher embryo fusion, higher restrictions. However, the past units still go by the old values. What do I mean? Let's go with one of the worst Caro units, Lei, to further emphasize what I mean. This is what I mean. This is just a 30% embryo fusion and takes 10% of your current HP for temporary strength. So these past units are still scaling by the old values, not the new values by Divine Caro, until there are new Awakeners that also Divine Caro and more embryo fusion. So you have to rely solely on Saya for your embryo fusion on that comp, unless you waste units like Dyes, which has very, very good embryo fusion. Dyes is the only unit in the game that can matches with Saya's embryo fusion requirements of Divine Caro. Now let's go to Dyes so I can show you what I mean. So remember, Saya can generate 15% on her strike and defenses and up to 80% on her 2-cost cards. So where is Dyes? Let me go over Dyes right now. And Caro, Dyes. There you go. So this is 40% plus an additional 40% if you pick the first option. So this is 80%. So this 2-cost is the equivalent of Saya's 2-cost embryo fusion card. And in fact, it's better. It's better. Why? This gives us Gynokium. I'm pronouncing that wrong. I'm sorry. So let's compare it 1-to-1. Dyes not only give 80% embryo fusion, or it can give weakness and vuln if you choose to only get 40% embryo fusion. And this has a requirement of having your HP be low to get the 80%. So Dyes card's already better than this 2-cost. This is why I say that Saya is like the worst anniversary unit. If you're not retarded, just compare it to Dyes. They're both 2-cost cards. This has the restriction. This has the restriction to get the extra 40% embryo fusion. But it has the Gynokium. However, Dyes card simply has more text. It simply does more. It gives you Key Flare as well. So on a 1-to-1 basis, Dyes is still already better than Saya without forcing Divine Caro onto your team. Now, I'll go over Gynokum and all that later. I'm just going to call it Cum. I'll go over the fucking Cum later. So, yeah. So, this card is worse than Dyes, better than any other Caro Awakener. Better than any other Caro Awakener. But how are you going to generate that much babies? The fact is, it's a nerf to most Caro comps. You have to pray that it makes up for it. Because remember, Pikmin has to work twice as hard to generate babies with Saya in the comp. Now let's discuss whether she does make up for it. Now let's compare a whaled out Saya. So this is a level 90 Saya I borrowed. So a whaled out Saya does this much corrosion. As you can see, so she is very good with a whaled out Dorsine Rouse. Because one of the corrosion changes that happened not recently, well recently for me, is, let me show you. So this is Dorsine's regular Rouse effect if you have plus 12 of them. Only 20% HP, but if you combine it with Saya, I showed you guys earlier in the clip, this is the train mode where the boss has 7 million HP, so it has a better viewpoint. So do this, and Rouse Dorsine, since it's all percent damage, yeah, double the damage here. And that's better than a regular Dorsine. Now, what is it like with a regular Dorsine? Dog shit. Watch. Let's say you don't have a plus 12 Dorsine. Just use the regular Exalt. So on end game modes, like this, and later on, if you have like a weak baby Dorsine, it's going to be very hard to proc the corrosion on the higher HP numbers. And this is just 7 million. There are bosses that does 40 plus million HP. So you need a good source of fixed damage, which only percent, even, you know, G Murphy without the relic. Never mind. G Murphy does more. We haven't even procced her relic yet. This is just 2. So it's not even proccing her relic. Never mind. G Murphy does more. I was about to say, like, even G Murphy can't compete with Ortine, but as you see now, just like playing it wrong, I think G Murphy procced more corrosion than Dorotine did. Yeah, it wasn't even close. Never mind. I was about to glaze Dorotine for the first time. Like, Dorotine out-procced the Saya corrosion. But that is fake news. Let me actually try something here. Let's see if we just forget about the Dorotine real quick. Get all these babies into her mouth. Red stance. Let's see. Just play next. Just play next. You saw how much corrosion Dorotine did. And 1, 2. This is before the relic is procced. Yeah, it's more. Never mind. I take it back, Dorotine. I take it back, Dorotine. Still, yeah, still nothing. However, if it's a plus 12 Dorotine, you get to be very impressed at the start of any combat. Wow. Wow. It's all you, Dorotine. Wow. Wow. I'm so impressed, Dorotine. It's literally all the... we gotta see that one more time. I didn't pay attention to number. Let's see. Visceral Blossom. Let's do it out of order real quick. Let's do it out of order real quick. Let me just do the Exalt on Dorotine. How much of the corrosion does it proc? Let me do the Rouse effect. Yeah, it's like literally less than... It's like literally nothing. It's like literally nothing, dude. It's like literally nothing. Let's do it one more time. Let's do it one more time. Sorry. I need to go on the rest of the video. But I am having a horrible week, and this entertains me. So, Rouse, Dorotine. Yes. 2.7,600,000. You got 663,000. Okay. 7663. 763. My gosh. It literally does nothing. It literally does nothing. Okay. Past flares here. The number didn't go up. There was like a couple of Saya bugs that with corrosion and fixed damage. So, Vortex is fixed damage, can proc the Corrosion, and a lot of stuff that can proc Corrosion but shouldn't. Yeah, there's a couple of bugs with damage numbers. You see how the total damage didn't go up? It should have gone up. I don't know what's going up with these footages. So, without further ado, let me just rapid fire stuff. So, this is the Manchette comp. It works. The Manchette, obviously. So, without her wheel. I tested Sai without her wheel. So, there's only two really viable comps, which is Doricine and Manchette without her wheel if you yank it from her. Because you don't get enough, embryos. And if people would want to talk about her fucking Rouse effect, feeding alienness, and her exalt. So let's go over all that. There's one really, 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 really bad thing about using Saya with Doricine, though. I will showcase it here. Do this. Rouse Doricine. Do this. So, if this Dirge does not do enough damage to kill the mob, and the Corrosion kills it, the kill does not count towards Doricine, just like it was with Caster. So, that's the big con here. She generates too much Corrosion, so that's the downside of this. So, it does help reduce the mob HP very low. But in doing that, you have to make sure that, you guessed it, you have to get play this first. Get that. Rouse. And hope. And wait till the next turn. You have to wait for the next turn. Because if I exalt on Doricine now, Saya gets the kill. Because Doricine is that dog shit. Doricine is that dog shit that Saya's Corrosion gets killed. So you can only use her Corrosion to get them low. If you're using her Corrosion to kill, he's going to steal the kill from Doricine. I'm sorry. There you go. He got the kill. Now let's get the Sight Unseen. Let's get the Saya. So I'm going to grab the Saya. Get these Evernights. It's fine. And now we're going to Posse. Play this card. Strike. There you go. That time, Doricine got the kill because the initial hit did enough damage to kill that the Corrosion doesn't proc. So how damage works in the game is that it calculates this damage first. The damage up top. See, Doricine does not get a kill. See the two numbers popping up? So Doricine hits the mob first. If it doesn't kill, then the Corrosion triggers. If the Corrosion triggers, Sai gets the kill. So she doesn't actually buff the kill for Doricine. She steals his kills. Because Doricine is that fucking dog shit. And Doricine, unlike other units, every other unit's like, okay, she kills my kills. I don't give a fuck. Remember, Doricine scales off of the kills. He gets the shit off of getting kills. So, that's the big con of her, but she's still worth it on Doricine team. You have to be very careful. Most battles, you're going to have to wait one turn. You get them very low. Get them very low. Back the fuck off so Doricine can get his kills. He's one of those fucking nerdy little pieces of shit when you're supporting them, saying, you stole my kill. It's a team game, Doricine. Sorry, you stole my kill. I'm going to pout in the fucking corner. So this is Future Flares. Now, I was experimenting with Arouse, with Rexo. Past Flares is full of hope, and where I was talking about how to make the Exalt work, with Manchette, with Corpo, with Pikmin. Technically, it's all true. You Exalt on Pikmin, you have so many chromophages and 2 costs for the boss fight. It's so good. It's so smooth. I'm going to delete all that footage. I'm going to delete all the footage where it works. Because, again, Future Flares has seen the light. These are both dog shit. The optimal way to play Saya is just hold it in. Hold it in. Never use your Exalt. never use her Exalt. Why? Because her wheel. You want to never use her Exalt, so this Corrosion is a lot higher, because she's a Corrosion unit. Is it optimal? Oh, why do you do this, players? Why don't you use her Exalt and stuff? I found out the hard way. When you're picking Orson in exploration phases, as you see here, the cars that have destroy, which means it's permanently destroyed from your deck forever, it can land on these things. So in endgame mode, like train and stuff, you can fuck yourself over by exalting on Saya. Cause if you exalt just enough, all three of them are destroyed cards. You're not getting Orsons anymore, motherfuckers. So yeah, that's the thing. And in any other comp, you're gonna route the DPS first. If you're rousing Saya, a 3-cost rouse, only does this. Yeah, on comps, you're playing Scion with this much Corrosion. You're gonna kill them in 1 to 3 turns. You're not gonna trigger this effect. It's not gonna happen. That 20 alien miss, it's not gonna happen. She generates too much Corrosion already. So by the fact that she's too good at generating Corrosion, why would you rouse her? What is wrong with you? So this is towards the end of the video. I'm gonna just speed through every comp I tested. So I tested the Sorrel comp. I tested Monchette, Vortex, Corpo, Erita discard, Doricine, Tawil, all these. Just fast forward through all these footages. I need to use these clips somehow. I need to use these clips somewhere. I did 20 plus Alert 5 runs. I'm just talking while future players will edit this in with random clips all around, maybe all at once. Maybe it's brain overload, all these runs together. I don't know what I'm going to do. It's just clips after clips after clips because it's all pointless. It's all pointless. You just yoink her wheel. Yoink her wheel, whatever dog shit team you're running, and just not use her because she's so clunky. She's very clunky. And the optimal way to play her, like every other support unit, is better with her without wheel. Now, she is very good. She is very good. But you need her wheel to make her insanely good. Insanely good. If she had her wheel, if you do not starve Saya, I would place her A to S tier. I would place her A to S tier. If you did not yoink her wheel from her, like the dirty degenerate you are. But if you made it through this far in the video, you're already just robbing her blind, just for the arithmetica. You're already bashing her face in. She's just a crumpled mess on the floor. Okay? And I ran her without the wheel. And without her wheel, the decent comps that work with her are Doricine, because, again, it's a lot of Corrosion. Sorrel, Doricine, sort of Sorrel, but it's still worse than with the Pikmin. Because the thing is, Divine Caro is so dog shit at baby generation. And you want a lot of babies. Who cares if exalting is good if you have so much less babies? It's literally twice as hard to get babies. And the buff it gives you is not twice as good. You want to feed babies so you can exalt more often. So the logic is, let's say in a Sorrel or an Uvosh comp, which I did do with Saya. Sure, eating the babies buffs their exalt by 43%. It's so much better. You get half of the babies. You get half of the babies. It's actually worse than half of the babies. Because remember what Past Flare says. Since it's Divine Caro, you get half the babies. And any other Embryo Fusion Awakener will have harder to generate each baby. Because remember, their Embryo Fusion is not doubled. It's still half. It's still half. And Would you rather have one good exalt with a 43% buff? Or would you rather have more babies so you're going to feed them back to your unit so you can exalt more often? Units like Uvash right now scales off how many times he exalts. Sorrel scales off of how many babies she eats. Sure, each baby is more premium. But wouldn't you rather have more babies? And those are only the Caro units. If you're using Sai with other realms, you can't even proc her babies. Because all you do is you feed her baby, doesn't work, you don't get the crit damage. Do you understand what I mean? So it's only Dorazine that works if you want to do the whole exalt thing, even though her exalt is dog shit, you rather have more corrosion. So really, her only purpose in most comps is her nice corrosion. But Caster does that better. But Caster literally does that better. I ran Caster so many times alert 5. It literally just put her wheel on Caster. He makes any Caro comp better
every one
than
of my
if Saya was there.
Was with a E0
So
Saya.
if you're running her without
Soulforge,
her wheel, just put her on a Dorazine team.
Don't need
forget about her.
These
and
enlightened.
let's talk about
Not because
they're trash. They're very good. If you want to invest in her, her E1 to E3 are all very good. Now, what do I think about her OE? Her OE is very good. It lets you have more Alimus gauge to buff your corrosion. Now, actually using her OE? Why would you do that? Just play her as a corrosion bot. Just never exalt on her. Just never exalt on her. Just use her for her corrosion. Now, what do I think about her plus 12? You're never gonna fucking rouse her. You're gonna rouse the other units on your team. Like, she's a support unit who doesn't need to rouse. You're never gonna take advantage of her rouse effect. You're never gonna take advantage of Gynokium. Why? Just use her as a corrosion bot. We need more corrosion bots. Well, in fact, all you need is her E1 and E3 for endgame content, because this is nice. 0.5% max HP is nice. Is nice. All this, you don't need it, because let me tell you, you ignore her entire kit, her entire reason to live, her entire reason why I think she's good in a lot of comps is just Visceral Blossom. It's just a lot of corrosion, dude. It's just so much corrosion. It's a good utility card. Is it a boring way to play her? Probably. But again, if you were to exalt on her, you will get it back in 2 business days. It's so much. She generates so little babies. She generates so few Alimus from this that good luck. And if you're playing her the way I suggest, you're gonna kill everything in 1 to 3 turns anyway. On any decent comp, any Dorazine comp, you're gonna kill everything in 1 to 3 turns. Why would you need to exalt her? Why would you need to exalt her? Why would you need more corrosion? Like, the thing about these enlightens is it buffs the corrosion she gives. Why would you? It's very rare, except for in like very hard boss fights. And you're not gonna be honest. You're not gonna use Dorazine in very hard boss fights. You're gonna use real team comps, and real team comps don't have Saya. I'm sorry, because again, this card. Most teams don't want you to discard their hand to get a better hand, except for like the discard team. And discard team isn't that good. Isn't that good with Saya? I tried it. You saw the clips earlier. I tried it. It works. It clears alert 5. But I can clear alert 5 of any comp. Any player, if you're not dog shit, can clear alert 5 of any comp. And she's the weakest Annie unit. Not because she's weak. It's because you guys are going to take her wheel from her and put it on Caster and put it on better comps. If this was a game where you have to use her wheel on her and on her only. She'd be A to S tier. Without her wheel, you're just using her as a corrosion bot because Divine Caro is so bad, dude. Divine Caro is such a dog shit rail mechanic. I think it's probably the worst rail mechanic. If I'm being honest, like, people are gonna glaze the rail mechanic, but it's actually just all Saya mechanic. So just play the rail mechanic. Don't touch anything about Saya. Pretend Saya does not exist. When you're playing the Caro rail mechanic, just don't play your cards. Just put Saya in your team and play with anyone else. And that's the rail mechanic. At least blue. You have the nice big shield. At least Divine Ultra. You have like the double played card. You have the nice, Annihilate. The Divine Caro is so fucking bad without Saya. It's so fucking bad without her wheel. It's dog shit. I hate it. But yeah, she's a good unit. She's A to S tier if you don't yoink her wheel from her. But knowing what I know, Future Flares, and seeing that clips of me doing 70,000+ corrosion on caster with one Onyx Plume, with one fucking Onyx Plume, it's literally better than this card. It's literally better than this card, and it doesn't discard your hand. That's the end of the video. Now, what happened this week? My uncle died. I met my cousins at a funeral home. I will make a video on it when I'm ready, with footage of the viewing and awakening. I also have pictures of his corpse. Obviously, I'm probably gonna censor a lot because I met his corpse. So, how do I explain this without I would rather explain it when I have footage and stuff and tell his whole life story in a not video. But uncle died. I'm helping my family with it past few days, and I think it's a brain aneurysm. We just got the body back from medical examiner. Not much. I still have a lot of pre-recorded videos. The only reason I was able to make this video is because it's a Saturday, the weekend, and all the funeral stuff is not. But starting on Monday, I have to skip in because he died without the will. So, you know what that means. Probate court. So, yeah, lots of drama. So, flares out. What wheels, what stuff do you use on Saya? Whatever, dude. Just put on DR, just put on money. I like money. I wouldn't recommend green because you don't need that much corrosion and stuff. But yeah, just put her with a Dorothy. She's really flexible. Her best wheels are her wheel plus the plus 12 wheel that you get this in. So, flares out. Why I don't know what else to say here.
I am the keeper. I call you home. An engineer wakes with grease on her lips and a wrench that remembers more than she does.
An orphan commands a swarm of teeth and hope.
A spider weaves tomorrow from destiny silk.
The dissolution wipes their existence.
But I turn the key and the universe remembers me. Death is a rumor when the metal sings.
'Cause the dissolution erases names like rain. I turn the silver key to call you back again.
I wonder if the void can know
every promise we made with our soul.
I turn the key, I pull your heartbeat through the rift. A million monsters howl.
Still I pull you from the end.
This kind of
tethered love is the bridge I build between the worlds above.
We will keep each other's name. We will keep each other's name.
We will keep each other's name.
Every alley forgets its own name while the rain rehearses erasure.
Ramona yells at me for skipping homework.
The captain's compass spins toward fog. The priestess tastes salt where saints used to be.
I fold the void like paper
and press the key.
I am the keeper.
I am the hinge that will not break.
I turn the key and I call them home. 'Cause the
clean, and the city forgets its own breath.
When their voices thin to rumor and their histories wash away like rain,
I will remember their names,
even if they forget.
that is who I am, until I turn to ash.
And my last heartbeat is a small, stubborn drum.
We are the keeper, and we'll keep their name.